interview maybe in 2012 or something like that, right? And actually wrote the article in 2016, putting it off. Why did it take so long? When you listen to this talk, you realize that it's not just us being lazy or being distracted. It's a head, heart, and hand issue, or it's either of the three, or it's all three together.
Hi everyone. So it's 4 o'clock on a Monday, and I'm just heading out to do some tasks that I've been putting off for some time. I need to do the grocery shopping. So today's episode is quite fitting because my problem with procrastination is something that I've been working on, and in today's episode, Rochelle and I talk about how we are coming to terms with not just white knuckling through, getting over this really bad habit that we have, but kind of understanding why we have this habit and some practical steps that we have chosen to take to go through overcoming it. It all started with this fantastic YouTube video talking about not only what procrastination is, but why we engage in it, and led me to a book written by the speaker. And I wanted Rochelle to watch the talk with me so that we could react to it in real time. So that's where today's episode takes us. So hope you enjoy it.
I created a folder, I told you, right? No more procrastination, and went head on.
Very good. Even
Yes.
like for me, I told you, I shared with you that quote, it said something along the lines of, it's not talent that holds us back, it's a lack of deadlines. So
Yes,
yeah,
of course.
it was, I think setting a deadline really helped me with achieving some of the tasks. The thing that inspired this also was should it be okay, I'm just going to power through and just do it because I really need to do it, because I just thought there has to be joy in all of these things as well. So that's
Yeah.
where this talk really made me inspired. It just showed me something
The
that
TED Talk.
the TED Talk. It really inspired me to look at tasks in a different way.
So I got to the root cause of my issue, and I understand. I was not a procrastinator when I was young.
Okay.
I was very methodical, very organized, but that is not an excuse, but that is the root cause. Okay. So when things happened in my life, one was my grandfather, passing away suddenly, and then my parents, that whole issue where they separated and whatever. Life just kind of lost its balance. Okay. And what probably this was in the back of my mind, subconscious mind, was why plan? Because your plans are not going to, maybe some will, but most often than not, it doesn't come into pass, right? So that's what it was for me. And I realized, yes, that's what it was. Because most of the things I planned, and I liked, things to be in order. It never, a lot of times it never happened. So then I realized, the microcosm and the macrocosm of our, our world is very chaotic. So I guess I thought, what's the point in planning? It's sad, but then, when you go into the root cause, there is a reason. There's sometimes, most often than not, a psychological reason.
So let me read to you from this book that was written by this person who wrote this TED Talk, right? She talks about how our ambitions are often sidetracked because of the uncertainty in the world.
And so what do you do in order to be successful in this society? Well, first, you define the desired outcome, and then you work really hard to get there. This sense of certainty is very reassuring. There's only one problem. We don't live in a linear world. We live in a non-linear world. There are market trends that keep on shifting, technology that keeps on evolving, and global events that can change everything overnight. And what happens when we try to reach our desired outcome, but somehow we don't get there?
So at that point, we tend to fall back on one of three defense mechanisms, right? The first one is cynicism. So activities like doom scrolling, passing up opportunities, poking fun at earnest people, like the beast before he meets Belle, we see transformation as a source of meaningless work, and we abandon any desire to build a good life. Why suffer when we can just survive? That kind of goes with, like, remember you were in survival mode. You were talking about it in a couple of episodes ago. Yeah. Then the second one is escapism. Retail therapy, binge watching, dream planning. Like Peter Pan, we confine ourselves to an island where we can break free from the burden of our
Binge
responsibilities.
Oh my gosh. I'd be watching reels when I have to sit and just finish the darn article. I'll be watching reels and in my mind, I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why the F are you doing this?
So apparently it's a defense mechanism because it says it's an idealized place where we can get away from the uncertainty of our lives. It's crazy, right? And the third one is perfectionism. I'm not there. Self-coercion, information hoarding, toxic.
No, I'm not
toxic productivity, where we treat ourselves like the stepmother treats Cinderella, and we don't give ourselves times to rest or relax. So these are not personality types, apparently. It's a way in which we face uncertainty. It's interesting, right? So,
yeah, and I was watching these sermons, and the base of that was Steve Jobs, right? How he used to say, think different. Yeah. So he was the type of man who he wanted to be in control. He was kind of like a control freak, But see, ultimately he had to let go of that control.
Exactly.
What I feel is the uncertainties of life bring us to that kind of, it's like a jolt. It's like, hello, you're not in control. You may think you are in control of your success, your future, your this, your that. You do all your study, which is good. I'm not saying those are bad. But there is that, that non-linear thing,
When a scientist gets an unexpected result, they don't go like, shame, shame, shame. I'm such a bad scientist. What did I do wrong? No, instead they go like, that's interesting. What's going on here? What can we learn from this? And this is because scientists understand that failure is an inherent part of learning. We need failure in order to learn.
So, about embracing failure as part of learning, that is something I took in 2019. I used to say, like, think of failure as stones being hurled at you, right? But instead of trying to dodge it and, thinking of it as, oh my gosh, I'm going to get killed by it.
Yeah.
Just take those stones or pebbles or whatever you think about it and make steps out of it so that you climb up, right? You learn from. So this was at an NLP session, which I did with Andy, with Smart Quest. And that helped because that's how they wanted us to see things, how do you see it? What do you see? How would you approach it, right? Is it like the end of the world? How can you change your perspective about a failure? So I think this is, of course, this is something a bit connected, but way off. This is something to do with diving, right? I had read this book I could swim, okay, but diving does not have anything to do with swimming. Nevertheless, in 2013, Safra, my friend, had got a book called Witches from the States. Okay. I read it, and from that day onwards, I've been so scared of like what's underneath the water. Will something pull me down? Do that. I wasn't scared of swimming. I loved swimming, but these unknown things, sometimes I wouldn't do things like. So I want to get the paddy license for my children, right? And I found out the details, but I was like, hell no, I'm not going there. Okay, I just watch from the seashore or boat or whatever. Yeah. But then I was telling my cousin about this because he had, I had seen pictures of him, you know, my gosh, he was diving in Maldives, here, there, everywhere. I was like, you know, it's very interesting because I'm thinking of sending my children. Is there anything any advice you can give? So he's like, yeah, he was just telling me. And he's like, what about you? I was like, no way, because I have this fear. Okay, then he said, okay, what is the fear you have? So I said, okay, I have this fear that, oh, blah, blah, blah. This is what I had read. And he said, okay, hold the thought. Hold the thought. He said, what do you see? I said, okay, I see this hand pulling me down. And I see a watery grave kind of thing. And, you know, I'm like, is that fear? He said, hold the thought. You see a hand. He said, then, okay, who's your favorite person in the world? I said, Jesus. Okay. He said, okay, think that hand belongs to Jesus, right? Let Jesus, instead of thinking that he's going to pull you down and just like, you know, suffocate you, think that he's gently holding, you know, kind of like asking you to come with him down to the sea bed to see the beauty that's around. And you think that you're having this conversation with him, you know, looking at the beauty you know, underneath the sea. And that changed the whole perspective. I did that. And every time I was like, Jesus, thank you. And I just loved it.
Wow.
And I got my paddy license.
Cool.
Turn those stones of failure into stepping stones.
Like, I think one of the most important qualities, I think, is curiosity. I think because like the more curious you are, the more, I know, like, I mean, I there's like, you know, Liran always says, like, whenever we go, like, anywhere, like, it's something that comes, my parents, my father, when those days it used to be so embarrassing, right? And he goes in the taxi, like, he'll put his head out the taxi if he sees like a nice girl or something. And I was like, Dad,
that's me.
Yeah.
I'm so curious.
Yeah.
I will talk to people. I will always find out what and this and that. My children are like, oh,
I know.
God.
But the thing is, I'm the same. Like, in the sense, I might not be like obviously like, you know, put myself out there, but I'll be like staring at people. What are their conversations? What are they talking about? And I'm like, Dilan's like, I think you're a little too obvious. I'm like, oh, shoot. But I think
well, you are better than me. I'm like in your face. I'm like, children are like, mother. Why are you going? No, because you know.
Yeah, I know. But I think it's good. I think it's good to have that curiosity because I think that's what makes you notice things. Like, I mean, like, I think I read a book recently called The Art of Noticing. And it's about like, you know, how we can have that sustained joy like children if we keep on noticing like the wonders around us. So like, I think that is something that bent is what keeps you young and, you know, hopeful and joyful. So that's what she like goes on talk about in this section.
What's great is that when you start looking at any challenge, any problem, with curiosity instead of self-blame, then you can also systematically come up with solutions to address that problem. To explore something with systematic curiosity is basically just asking without any self-judgment, where is this problem coming from? If the problem is coming from the heart, then just redesign the experience around the task. Maybe make it more fun. Take the classroom outside.
Rochelle, take the classroom outside. Remember?
I think she really changed. I always tell her that. I always tell her that, Miss, we needed you.
Yeah.
Because if we were continuing the way we were continuing, we would have wilted and died, Maria. Seriously.
Definitely.
I think we were all like so emotionally charged and so much of trauma in all our lives.
Yeah.
We would have, I don't know what would have happened. We would have just.
Yeah. She just, I mean, such a simple thing, no? Just changing the location of where we were going to do our lessons because she knew that we were like, crazy.
And to think that we never thought it was possible. We never even thought about it, right?
What do you mean?
Can we take
thought it
class?
was? Oh,
And
yes.
did we think we would be able to take? No, I never.
No.
Never. Not in school level. Right?
And also the other thing is how much that impacted me as a teacher. Like, because once I started becoming a teacher, I would do things like that. So like, you never know how far your actions go when you do, these small things. It just like there's a ripple effect. So yeah, she was amazing.
Yes, he taught us to think different, right?
Starting
think out of the
poets.
box. And for me, I love the way that we were able to change the setting of our classroom.
Oh yes, it was like a parliamentary style, right? I love that.
It's fantastic because everybody got like a super view and
a say. I think it was just like amazing how everybody came together and like I think we encouraged, empowered each other.
Radical seasons.
It was a radical season. Oh my God.
Yeah. We were like the revolutionaries, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the teachers would have been terrified of us.
No, she was teaching crap. It's just that nobody had the balls to get up and say she's teaching crap. Well, our girls had it.
About 20 years ago. So, crazy, I think it was just like amazing how everybody came together and like I think we encouraged, empowered each other.
Radical seasons.
It was a radical season. Oh my God.
Yeah. We were like the revolutionaries, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the teachers would have been terrified of us. Crazy.
We used to go up front and ask. I can remember we brought a pineapple and we heard, our class teacher, we heard that she had cut it up and given it to the higher grade. So Kanati and I went up to her and we said, "Oh, Miss, how is the pineapple?" Yeah. Then she said, "Well, it smells so good that I had to cut it up and give it to these children." I said, really? Oh, okay.
I didn't know about this pineapple story. balls to go and speak to that, no?
Fearless and that determination. We wanted to go on that trip, right, on the 24th of October, 1996. And she insisted, she said, "Well, you can postpone it, blah, 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 blah." We were determined because we knew, it's not going to happen if we don't take that chance. Good.
And for me, coming from a school where we were like, yes, teacher, no teacher, I was
also like that.
What are they doing? It was like a completely different education on the side. I needed it.
And if the problem is coming from the hand, then raise that hand. Ask for support, ask for training instead of feeling paralyzed and procrastinating.
I like the fact that she says, then raise that hand. ask for support. So I've learned to do that. I've learned to do it.
And I think you did that like when you were asking for help with your book. You said, can we keep track and hold each other accountable? I think it's important. I think we have a problem sometimes with asking for help, no?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We have to get over that. I think it's a culture. I don't know if it's a cultural issue. I don't. Is it?
I don't think it's a cultural issue. I actually don't know. But I just feel like I don't want to hassle anybody else. So that might be where that is coming from.
The experimental mindset is about defaulting to curiosity. It's about relearning how to fall in love with problems. It's about letting go of the analysis paralysis, the imposter syndrome, the overthinking, and the self-blame.
It's about relearning how to fall in love with problems. So just, I know I'm bordering on, my experience with the Bible. In John 16:33, Jesus says, in this world there's tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. That has been a go-to for me since 2010. Because when my mother got the heart attack, that is the verse I got. So I never lost my cheer. And yeah.
That's what's so inspiring about you, Rochelle, because when we see you, we see how to go through suffering sometimes with that positive, that hope, and so you give a lot of people a lot of hope through your attitude. So that's very inspiring. But I think so I also was aware of this, but I just saw this talk has been fascinating because there's a scientific a foundation to this, which was really fascinating. Obviously, God is the one who created science. So obviously, there should be some underlying concept that connects. But it was interesting to see it in this light.
And not to see it in black and white, kind of, in this sort of how it's connected.
Yeah.
I guess those days people wouldn't see all this and they'd say, oh, you're being lazy, or, but to see that it's really embedded into into everything, into our psyche because of what we have gone through. And there's a reason. So it's good. It's good. And there's a way out.
Yeah.
And it all starts with observation, as I said. And I know when we're doers, we have high agency, we want to try things, we might want to start experimenting straight away. But in order to design a good experiment, you need to start with observation.
I think what she's saying is you observe where it's coming from. So it starts with observation. And then after that, you give yourself some sort of a timeline. Now, based on this, a couple of things now, I watched this 2 days ago. So what I thought is now this writing thing has been a problem. No? I also been trying to write. So I thought, inspired by that thing, she says how she recorded herself for 10 days or whatever. So I thought I would I think maybe the time frame is too long, but anyway, I have a weekly a goal. So say for 7 days, I'm just going to turn up and just write without any judgment. So something like that. So you have to frame it in with a what if question. So you observe, okay, I've been wanting to do this, I've not been able to, but the reason I have not been able to is because I'm constantly judging my writing. Is it good enough? Is it telling a story? So then I thought, okay, so what if I come to this without a need to have it at the a good quality? It doesn't have to say anything. So I'm just writing. So that I will see how it goes. And at the end of the 7 days, if I want to tweak it or change it. So I think this idea of doing it tiny is important because she says, one of the dangers that we have in our society is we want to do epic shit. That's what she says. It has to be on a grand scale, and then we let ourselves down because we are not able to obviously reach for that. So starting with these tiny steps, I think, is a really, really good way to go. So yeah, so that's one thing. My writing is other than that, like, so I kind of like divided it. I have a few experiments. One is with family, how I deal with family. Second is with my writing. Third is with this podcast. I just thought like I will, because now for me, I'm editing it also now. So I thought I'm just going to, every time I edit it, I'm not going to look at it like as a difficult thing. I'm going to make it fun every time for me while I'm editing it. So I'm like downloading these like, you know, those like noises, like last time when we had a quiz, like you had to think whether I was like, you know, saying a lie or
Yeah.
truth. So then I put like a countdown, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun. So like that sort of things to make it fun for me.
Yeah.
So like, you know, doing that sort of thing, like I thought I'll look at it as a project rather than like a, you know, like a, you know, something like a task. So then it keeps it fun. So I think having that parameter and then asking yourself, what if I change it in this way? That way is like something I'm planning to do. What about you?
And in my case, the reason why there was a delay is because I thought, is there a story to tell? In my case, right? So I'm like, people have so many issues. So will they bother? Will people even benefit from mine? I mean, when you compare it to so many others, you know, what they have been through, I'm thinking, will it make an impact?
But
that was my initial kind of reluctance, which I had to overcome.
So that's
Overcame
something.
that.
So yeah, something that was like, you know, you're wondering, is my story like, that's like a hard thing, no? You're worried about how your story will be received.
Yes, will they think, okay, what is she trying to, convey here? So what? What if she has been through? There are many who have been through far worse. So it's like that. But then I feel no, there is something to be told here, not for people to feel, oh dear, no, but something to get from it. So I'm just prayerfully committed to that, and I start writing again because I see a huge potential. There's something that is brewing. You know, you sense it. Like just
it's like labor, no?
Getting there. Yeah.
Conception, labor. Before you give birth.
Yes.
I mean, one thing that registered with me is this need to observe yourself and reflect on, like, you know, how you feel, then do the action and then reflect on it again. It's something that we do when we are teaching as well, because then that helps us to improve. So that taking that to your life, I think, is like interesting, because sometimes we try to bury how we feel, and like, you know, we don't pay attention to how we feel, or we ignore how we feel. So that was one thing I thought that was very important. And then the second one, what was it? I can't remember now, but it was important. Yeah, she talked about labeling how we feel in certain moments. She says, when we are feeling stressed or sad, it's important to label it in your mind. Say, okay, yeah, I'm feeling sad right now, or I'm feeling a little overwhelmed right now. And she says labeling it helps us to sometimes deal with the issue. And sometimes she says, when you can't find words to it, she says, describe it as a landscape. You say, I feel like I'm standing on the edge of a cliff during a storm. So that kind of helps you, like, you know, to understand, okay, so this is where I'm at. Okay, so so I don't know what the neural process is, but she says labeling it helps us to process it a little better. So I think observation, and so there's a lot, I think. So this book has just been released, actually, March 2025. So I mean, it's an interesting read. I hope I'll be able to get my hands on it. But like, even listening to her talks, there's a lot. Like, this is just one section of it. So there's a lot that we can learn.
And the good thing is, Maria, we're making progress, right? That's what we can be. What she says is to not to judge even yourself. I took that also from her, you know, because we can be our worst critic.
Exactly.
Right? To the point where you know, cut yourself into shreds. So,
and the funny thing is, we are encouraging other people sometimes, but we treat ourselves so badly.
Talk about it. Yeah.
Isn't it?
we don't give us enough credit and glory, and I think we are kind of shy to give pat ourselves on the back. So, but I think we need to, because in my case and your case, like, look at where we are today, right? This podcast thing was just an idea that was at the back of my head and you know, in your heart or whatever. But now it's the 3rd episode.
Yeah.
Right? So isn't it wonderful?
It is.
Right?
It is.
And
I'm
even
so happy.
procrastination, I think we have made leaps and bounds to overcome. Right? In your case, you've already started writing your book. In my case, yes, but I have to continue. And like most of the articles that were pending, almost done.
Yes.
Right? So,
way to go.
Amazing.
It is. So let's encourage each other and like keep at it.
And I'm back 1.5 hours after I started this journey. Oh my god. So how did I choose to make this task a little more enjoyable? I combined it with documenting my journey. Oh my god. Anyway, it's a little bit heavy now. If you have got any